We are at the northern part of the old city of Jerusalem. What you see is outside the wall, the area of the Garden Tomb. But the most important place here is that. In that video, I will try to show you the city. I mean, we're gonna cross the city from north to south. We're gonna visit so many important holy cities, holy sites, that it might take time, but it's worth it. This is Damascus Gate. Most of my Christian friends know it as that name. Damascus, the way to Damascus. Remind us Paul that left Jerusalem to Damascus. The Jews call it Shar Shem, Shem, Nablus Gate. The Muslims are using the name from the 2nd century, Bab el-Amud. Bab el-Amud, the door of the column. The 2nd century, right here somewhere, you could see a column, and on top of it, a statue of King Adrian, Caesar Adrian, 2nd century, around 132-35. Next to it, you could see a triumph gate that symbolized the victory of Adrian at the city. From that moment, he changed the name of Jerusalem to Aliyah Capitolina, which I'm sure that most of you don't know. And he changed the name of Israel to Palestine, which was the same country, same people, same Jews, hundreds of years before the Muslims came to the world. 100 years before Muhammad was born. Then now we know the meaning of Palestine. It's kind of a punishment to the Jews who rebelled him, were against him. Damascus Gate, it's a new gate. It's only from the 16th century, and that was built together with the wall that you see to your right side and to your left side by one of the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. And he built a beautiful gate as you see it today, but he built it on top of a Crusader gate, Adrian triumph, and a Roman gate as well. Then in that case, now when you know how beautiful it is, let's start a tour. Before I forget, at the description you will find my Facebook account, Instagram account, and if you want to ask me something, don't think twice. That beautiful plaza was built by the Israelis after they came back to Jerusalem in 1967. Let me tell you something about Jerusalem and Palestine and Israel. It wasn't supposed to be owned by the Palestinians and not by the Israelis. It was supposed to be owned by United Nations, but in 1948 the Jordanian conquered it, and it used to be part of Jordan until 1967. In 1967, tried it again, but this time we occupied Jordan. Then from that moment, it became part of Israel, and then the Palestinians started to shout, "We want it back," although it's not supposed to be owned by them and not owned by us. What you can see here is a remain of one of the arches, the triumph arches, that built by Adrian, 2nd century. Beneath it, you can, if you go to that small museum, which is another possibility, you will find some Roman evidence, including floors, which are lower than that. Remember, that gate was built only in the 16th century, and it's the most beautiful gate of Jerusalem. Let's go into the city, but the noisy children will disturb us, then let's do that slowly. The gate, like most of the gates in Jerusalem, weren't built for peacetime. Walls and gates intended to save the people which are in it. Then you cannot go straight ahead. You'll have to turn left, usually to the left, because people who use arms, guns, or something like that are using their right hand. Then their hand will be next to the wall. And now going out of Damascus Gate and entering the city itself, we are at the Muslim quarter, and you will see here the non-touristic part of the city. It's not tourist part at all in every day, but this time, June 2021, still no tourists in Israel. Then what you will see is mainly local people. You saw some Orthodox Jews who are heading to the Western Wall, Wailing Wall, and we are doing it too. Local market for local people. Fashion, which usually it's quite with cheap prices, lots of vegetables, as you can see. Sorry. And here you can see a junction. You can turn right, and you will go through the main street of Jerusalem. It will take you to the Jewish quarter, but I'm taking the other corridor, the eastern corridor, will take us to other beautiful places. Corridor, from the word heart of the city. See grape leaves. They can fill it with meat or rice, and it's so tasty and good. About security, as you can see, I'm here, I don't feel any tension, but there are times that I know that this place is out of the question. What you cannot feel is the amazing smell of the fresh baked food, Arab food. It's quite nice now. It's only 26 degrees, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is the Muslim quarter. You can see Israeli flags. That's not because the Muslims really like the Jews or the Israelis. That is one of the houses that were built, bought by the Jews in the Muslim quarter. There are many like that. They bought it with full money. It's legal, but it makes the tension higher. That building that you saw, and you will see again, is such an important building because Mark Twain from Huckleberry Finn lived there. It used to be an hotel at this time. Now it's a Jewish house. You can see the menorah. No, it's the Chanukiah or menorah. And children going to school. I'll try to walk slowly, that you will be able to see every alley in every street here. To the left, you can see a wall. That wall belongs to the Austrian Hospice. Austrian Hospice. It's not a Muslim place, it's a Christian place, built by the Church of Austria, Catholic Church of Austria. It was built as an hotel, although it wasn't allowed at the time of the Ottomans. The Ottomans didn't allow to build hotels. They let the Christians build only churches and hospital. They then built something like an hospital, which is never used as a hospital. It was used as a beautiful hotel until today. The view from the roof is absolutely beautiful. A minute, let me go to the shady area. Shade, 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 shade. Look how beautiful it is. Then you have to enter that door and climb up to the roof. It will cost you 5 shekels, but the view is stunning. And if you want beer in the Muslim Quarter and pork in the Muslim Quarter, here you can get it. And it's a very good place for accommodation if you want to live inside the city, the old city. The Via Dolorosa, the way that Jesus actually walked from the judgment place to the crucifixion place, started a little bit further. Let's say 300 meters from here, 400 meters from here, 1200 feet from here, the first and the second station. But here you can see military police kind of station, because that from time to time is a little bit tense. And they are covering now the third station of the cross. Remember, the first one and the second one are in that room, that street that you saw. And here we can see the third and the fourth station. That's where Jesus fell for the first time. It's a beautiful chapel. Sadly, it's closed again, no tourists. Most of the tourist restaurants are closed as well here. And here, in the fourth station, that belongs, the third and the fourth one, belongs to the Armenian Catholic Church. Mary met Jesus. If you will tell me, Zahi, we don't know about that story, I mean both stories, then I will say that you are not Catholic. And that's true. The Catholic added few stations into the Via Dolorosa that never mentioned in the Bible, but there's a logic behind it. First of all, he didn't eat. He had to carry the cross. He knew that he's going to die. Then can he fall? Of course he can. And about his mother, a Jewish mother will be next to her son until the last minutes. Then I believe that Mary was there as well. Then third and fourth stations. The idea is that by that you will be able to see or to feel the agony of Christ. Again, Israeli flag. Israeli flags in the Muslim Quarter. You got the message. New building, I mean a Jewish building inside the Muslim Quarter. I must tell you, let that poor man go. That area used to be the Jewish Quarter, but the Jews were kicked out of it by the Muslims then. In that case, they believe that they are going back to their houses. Oh. This is the fifth station of the cross. That's where Saint Simon helped Jesus to carry the cross. That is part of the Bible. And I forgot to mention, you can recognize the stations by the number. See the fifth one, and there's a figure that will tell you what actually happened here. Again, the door of the chapel is closed mainly because there are no tourists. It might be open tomorrow because the Via Dolorosa, the weekly Via Dolorosa, will be held by the Franciscans. Here you can see a stone from the 1st century, and maybe it's the left print of Jesus that couldn't feel well, and the Romans forced Saint Simon, a Jew from Libya, to help him to carry the cross. That is the the rest of the Via Dolorosa, and as you can see, we are the only one in that place now. Said, huh? What Saint Simon did in the city? Very obvious. 3 times here every Jew had to be in the city. Passover is one of them. That's the reason that Jesus visited the city. Then to find a guy from Libya, a Jew from Libya, was almost obvious. Abu Shukri, it's a very good restaurant, and if you're here next to the 5th station, you can actually enjoy very good hummus and excellent kebab. We're still in the Muslim Quarter, and we are heading to the Western Wall. What I want you to see is mainly that city is so small. It's like 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. That's a 0.7 miles square. It's not a big city, but still there are so many things to see in the city. You need at least 2 days for the whole city. Yeah, a little bit problem with cars in the city, but we will manage. If you need like food, water, grocery, even presents, souvenirs, you can find a lot here, but it's mainly a Muslim place, less touristic. This is one of the entrances to the Temple Mount, Al-Aqsa, but only Muslims can enter through there. Then why? Mainly because the Muslims are not allowing anyone but Muslims entering to their important place, Al-Aqsa, which used to be the house of God, according to the Jews. And that's why the Jews and the Muslims are actually fighting for the same place, same site. It's only for the Jews because there, beneath the Dome of the Rock of today, you can find the foundation stone, the first rock ever, and that's Mount Moriah. Then Abraham almost sacrificed his son on top of that stone, and God told the Jews to build his house there. Here in that street, Bab al-Hadid, you can actually turn left and visit the small Western Wall, which is another part of the wall that built by King Herod, and it's even for me more important than the Western Wall itself because it's closer to the Holy of the Jews. God told the Jews to build his house on top of it, and then in that case the Holy of the Holy for the Jews, the house of God, is there. For the Muslims, that is the place that Muhammad ascended into heaven and met God himself, who gave him the 5 prayers of a day. Then in that case, important to everyone. Most of the shops are closed, mainly because there are not a lot of people here now in the city. If you will turn to the left, you will enter to the Cotton Road, and if you can see the gate at the end of it, that is the closest place to the Holy of the Holy. From there you can see the Dome of the Rock, which is amazing. And if you are not planning to visit the Temple Mount, Al-Aqsa Mosque, from the first stairs you will be able to see the Dome of the Rock, but you cannot go into that place if you are not Muslim. Later on I will show you where you can actually enter to the Temple Mount, and you can do that twice a day. Well, let's continue. To the left, a beautiful street. You can see a Muslim lady, and behind it a Jew. I'm sure that the Jew is heading to the Temple Mount, to the Western Wall. beautiful, isn't it? Suleiman the Magnificent built some water system, water area that you call it Seville, and you could actually drink a little bit or purified your hand and legs before you're entering the Temple Mount to Al-Aqsa. Look how beautiful it is. It's not going to be a long video because the tour is about crossing the city from north to south, and now I will have to stop that video because we're entering through the security area. I will continue it immediately later on. Now, you just use the security side while they're checking your bags, mainly because some people, I won't mention who, they say that they will destroy and kill every Jew in that area. Then for the sake, to be sure, they build more and more and more. Beneath us is a street from 2nd to 6th century. Remember, we are going through the corridor, the main street, the second main street from north to south. And we will reach soon to a very important site. That will be, let me remind you that I will be more than happy if you will subscribe my channel and be part of my family. We are reaching the Western Wall, which some of you call it the Wailing Wall. I'm not stopping next to it. I'm not entering into it, mainly because the idea of the tour is to cross the city from north to south, but the Western Wall is only a small part from the huge Western Wall that started, if you remember, the third station of the Via Dolorosa started there, and the wall was built by King Herod to prepare a huge plaza. On top of it, he will build an amazing temple, which was between 2 and 3 times higher than the Dome of the Rock of today. If you want to see a movie about the Western Wall, go into my YouTube account and just write the Western Wall. You will see hundreds of videos like that. Hello, hello. And I want you to, we will continue the tour, but I want you to see the Jewish quarter. The Jewish quarter is now to your right side. I mean, you can see it now. And it's new, mainly because in 1948, when the Jordanians conquered the city, they destroyed the Jewish quarter. Then most of the houses that you see here are from 69 and up. Before they built it, they excavate beneath it, and there are so many museums that you can visit today, which are beneath that floor. You can see how beautiful is the ceremony. Might be a bar mitzvah, or it looks like a bar mitzvah, facing to the Temple Mount. And from here, you can see the Dome of the Rock. Then you can imagine that the Jewish temple was between 2 to 3 times higher than how big it was. We will continue, we'll go out, and I don't know if you can hear now the drums, but because it's a bar mitzvah ceremony, bar mitzvah is when you are reaching 13 as a boy, a Jewish boy, and now you are celebrating it, mainly because you are turning to a man. This is a Muslim guy entering to the Western Wall to show you that everyone can enter, and that might answer the question, if everyone can enter to the Western Wall. Yeah, you need to be decent. See, that lady is covering now her shoulders, and it looks like a bar mitzvah of Ethiopian Jew. So let's look at it. Look how beautiful it is. You hear the drums. And the word Mazel Tov was here now. And the reason you can hear the celebration here is because they cannot enter with their instruments into the western wall. I don't know if you will be able to see, but this is the end of the western wall. And this is the corner between the western and the southern wall of the temple. What is important for us to see is that those children are walking on a street from 1st century, from King Herod time. And the stones to the left, looks like someone destroyed something, a reminder for the destruction of the temple by the Romans in 70 AD. To the celebration. And guess what? Another celebration is on the way. You can see that beside the the drums, they have the horn, the shofar, which usually they use it. And it's a very happy occasion, of course. And if you thought that that is the last Bar Mitzvah celebration, then the answer is no. There's another celebration now heading through us, and what you see in front of you is the walls from the 16th century and the dung gate, the garbage gate. Why it's called the dung gate, the garbage gate? Because this is the lower gate, and as the lower gate, it's easier to take the garbage out. For it will be too noisy. Look how beautiful is the corner of the western wall and the southern wall. You can see Al-Aqsa Mosque with a great dome. Oh, all right. Let's look at them. The first one is the Bar Mitzvah guy. To the right, you can see Mount of Olives. What you can see here is the white area in front of you. It's the Jewish cemetery from the time of King David until now. And the tower that you see there is the Ascension Church. That's where Jesus ascended into heaven, but promised us to come back from the same place. Then now we can understand why Israel, or why Jerusalem is so important to Christians as well. Let's go out through that little bit dangerous gate. I want you to see the gate, and before that, let's go to the map in front of you. Let's try to describe what we did till now. We started a tour at Damascus Gate. We entered to the city, and here, remember that I told you that you could choose to take the corridor, the main street, or the secondary corridor, and that's what we did. We went through El Wad, the valley, the Guy street. We saw the Via della Rosa, 3rd and 4th station, 5th one, and then we went all the way to the western wall, and from here to the Dung Gate, which is the end of the city. And this is the Dung Gate in front of you. Oops. Let's do that slowly. Here it is. What you can actually do after that, to the left and down the valley, it's City of David, which is worth visiting. And if you will climb up, You will climb up to the Jewish quarter and to Mount Zion to visit the room, the Last Supper, the tomb of King David. So many things to see. But I want you to see, before we will say goodbye, I want you to see the remains of the corridor that we did today. Let's do that slowly. There's a lot of ceremonies, bar mitzvah ceremonies here, as you can see. Look at the balloons, I don't know if you can see it. Balloon white, flag of Israel. Now this is the corridor. Shops. And let me show you the ancient street. Here it is. You can see those stones. You can see the difference between old and new. That's the main Roman street. And you can see here how it looks like. Then at the time, let's say 6th century, 2nd century, you could actually walk through here and you will reach Damascus Gate. Wonderful. I don't know how long that video took, because I think 31 minutes. Then to cross the city is 31 minutes, and from east to west, mostly the same. Then in that case, so small, but so interesting. Then if you like that video and you reach that place, please write something to me. I mean, ask me questions. Tell me if you enjoy that. Tell me what you want to see, and I will. I'm doing a lot of tours according to the questions that I'm getting from you, and I will be more than happy if you will send it to all over your friends. I do have more than 19,000 videos of the Holy Land. Most of it are in English. Then see you in my next video. Bye bye.